The Buffalo Bills are going to be heading to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. This game is going to be played this Sunday with a 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff on CBS. The Chiefs enter this matchup as a 2.5-point favorite as of right now. Now, both of these two teams dominated in the wild card round. Kansas City Chiefs embarrassed the Pittsburgh Steelers 42-11 for the second time this year. And the Bills finished off the Patriots in their trilogy of games that they played for the third time, destroying them 47-17. And there were a lot of people who were surprised by how dominant the Bills were in their win in New England, because you look at the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are always a team that's very well coached. They're always very well prepared, and their defense is normally very good. But a large reason why New England struggled in that game was because, first of all, they had home field advantage. Well, they were on the road. The Bills had the home field advantage. On top of that, they had a young rookie quarterback. And we already knew that if Buffalo was able to slow down the run game and the rushing attack of the New England Patriots, and they forced the ball in Mac Jones' hands, and Mac Jones had to win the game for them, that was probably going to look like a one-sided affair, because Mac Jones going against one of the best defenses in the league probably wasn't going to be a winning recipe for success, and that's why the score was so one-sided the way that it was. Now, this is the second time these two teams have matched up this season. You remember that these two teams played against each other week 5 of the regular season this season, and the Bills got the better of Kansas City, dominated them 38-20. Now, Bills fans are going to be feeling really confident because they're going to say, we beat Kansas City once and we crushed them, so we should be able to beat them again. And if you're a Bills fan with that mindset, you're right and you're wrong. Yes, you are capable of being able to beat Kansas City again, even though it is very tough to beat great teams in the NFL twice. But at the same time, you just look at how much better you think you are than Kansas City. Like, you look at Kansas City's secondary. Their secondary definitely has had some inconsistent play, and on top of that, their pass rush is kind of hit and miss at times. So the Buffalo Bills offense definitely has a matchup that I think that they can go crazy and exploit that secondary of Kansas City. But at the same time, when you beat Kansas City, that was earlier in the regular season, and as we all know, that Kansas City wasn't that great of a team at the start of the year. They're not the same team that they are now that they were earlier this year. And like I was telling people, everybody was so quick to hop off the Kansas City hype train, and I still rode that thing. And the reason why I was still high on Kansas City is because I was telling a lot of people, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And right now, Kansas City has been one of the best teams in the league. And for Buffalo, this is a very big game. As a matter of fact, I don't like using this term a lot, but this is a must-win game for the Buffalo Bills, because if you're a Bills fan, you already consider Buffalo to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. We already perceive the Buffalo Bills, based off their body of work over the last couple of years, to be one of the best franchises in the league at the moment. However, they have yet to reach the Super Bowl. And pretty much whoever wins this game is probably going to be the overwhelming favorite by a handful of people to advance to the Super Bowl if they play Cincinnati or Tennessee. So whoever wins this game is going to be a favorite whoever they play in the conference championship game. But for Buffalo, this is a must-win game, because if you're going to say, you know what, we are one of the elite franchises in the sport, you have to be able to beat Kansas City. You have to be able to beat some of the greatest teams in the league. And although Buffalo had success against Kansas City in the regular season, can they do it in the postseason when it matters, when everything's on the line? That's where the question is going to be, because you look at Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns in only 11 minutes playing total against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. So you look at the Buffalo Bills defense, okay, how are they going to handle Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and all the weapons that they have? And like my homeboy was saying when we was watching them play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, Kansas City has really creative play calling. Like, they threw a touchdown to an offensive lineman. You had like this little weird play in the red zone with Tyreek Hill. So when you face Kansas City, everybody makes it all about slowing down the explosive playmakers that they have. But on top of that, you have to make sure that you are fundamentally sound defensively. You have to make sure that Everybody knows their assignments. Everybody is communicating. And defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier has been a guy who has popped up in a lot of head coaching rumors and a lot of head coaching searches. If you are somebody who is evaluating who potentially could be your next head coach, and you're looking at Leslie Frazier, this is a game that you're going to watch, because I'm interested in seeing the adjustments that Sean McDermott and his staff are going to make in this game. Because when you're facing a team like Kansas City in the postseason, it's all about adjustments. Like the postseason is more than about talent and the best team winning, because it's also about strategy. And in the NFL, there's been a handful of times where the best team doesn't always win, because they either come out with a better strategy, the team that, we perceive to be worse than their opponent, they come out better prepared and they have a good game plan. So on top of that, they also are very good at making adjustments in games. So for the Buffalo Bills, if you're a Bills fan, you shouldn't really be bringing up the fact that you already beat Kansas City in a regular season, because the Buffalo Bills coaching staff, if you were to ask head coach Sean McDermott right now how he feels about the Kansas City Chiefs, I guarantee you he's not going to bring up the fact that they already beat them before in the regular season, because they already know that this is a completely different team now than what they were back then. They're better defensively. They are better offensively. You got to remember that Kansas City had a huge problem with turnovers at one point. Patrick Mahomes wasn't taking care of the football, and also their play calling wasn't really on the right track as well. So you look at Kansas City going into this game like this is a completely different team, but also at the same time, you got to look at the Buffalo Bills like this is a team that's been pretty much dominant all year. And I had my guy Juice on Twitter. He was like, he doesn't know how the Buffalo Bills, how this is the same Bills team that lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. And I was telling him, I was saying, listen, like football is a week-to-week sport. You can't really judge a team based off one performance. You have to look at a team's overall body at work. So this is pretty much the AFC Conference Championship game in a lot of people's eyes, because whoever wins this game is most likely going to be a favorite to win the AFC Conference Championship next week, whether that be against the Titans or the Bengals. Now, you look at Josh Allen, and I'm really intrigued in this matchup and seeing which team is going to be better at slowing down the opposing quarterback in third down situations, because Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen make a living in moving the chains on third downs with their legs. Like, their mobility on third down is so irritating, because like, if you're a defensive coordinator, imagine how frustrated you are on third down. You get the third down, you're about to force the offense to punt, you're about to get the ball back to your offense, and then all of a sudden you have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes rolling out and picking up the third down or picking up the first down on third down with their legs. Like, it gets really frustrating. So which opposing defensive coordinator is going to have the better game plan for trying to neutralize the effect that these two great quarterbacks have, and how efficient they are and how effective they are in third down situations? Like, it seems like no matter what, Buffalo always converts with Josh Allen, because Josh Allen is just different, man. He's a very good runner. He has very good vision. And somebody called me crazy when I said that Josh Allen was just as good as a runner as Lamar Jackson. And a lot of people don't really understand what I mean by that. Josh Allen, to be a great runner doesn't just involve, having super fast speed and having all these highlight reel, runs and stuff like that. Like, there are different kinds of runners in this league. Lamar Jackson is more finesse. He's somebody who likes to run outside the tackles. He's somebody who's more finesse. Meanwhile, Josh Allen is somebody who will run in between the tackles. He can run through you. He has great size. He also has good athleticism. He can make you miss in the open field as well, because he's bigger than the majority of defensive backs. And you could argue and say that he's just as fast or just as big as some of the linebackers that we have in this league. Meanwhile, you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's not as good as a runner as Josh Allen, but he's very good when it comes to extending plays, and he's a magician as well. So these two quarterbacks are very similar. It's just the fact that you look at the rushing ability of Josh Allen, he's an elite runner of the football, especially when he's taking the ball in on third down. He gets outside the pocket like he's really dangerous, and so is Patrick Mahomes, which goes to a very big point. Which team's defense is going to be able to neutralize this quarterback's mobility and get the ball back to their offense in these third down spots? So the team that I'm going to take to win this game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. The reason why I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs is because I believe these two teams are evenly matched. But at the same time, I have a hard time seeing the Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs twice, because, like, I understand that Buffalo beat the Kansas City Chiefs handily, and they beat them by a pretty significant margin. And most of the times when you see a team win by that big of a point differential, it doesn't really change the outcome too many times. Like, if a team dominates somebody one time in that fashion, they normally do it again. However, you have to take into account that that was a Kansas City Chiefs team that you played earlier in the season. This is a team that's playing way better football now than what they were then. And also, they have a really good coaching staff. Andy Reid's going to come out. He's going to make adjustments. Steve Spagnuolo's defense has picked things up. So this is going to be a more competitive game than what it was last time. And I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game, because I think for Buffalo, you have to be completely flawless to be able to knock off Kansas City twice in a year or in a season, and that's very difficult to do. Not too many teams have been able to do that, being able to beat Kansas City 2 times in a year. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe that their defense is going to be way better in this game, and I don't think that this is going to be as high scoring as a game as many of people may think. Like, I think that this game is probably going to come down to whichever team is able to get 20 on the board first. I think this is a game that's going to come down to whoever has the ball during the last possession, and I'm going to take Kansas City to be able to be that team. So I have Kansas City winning this game 24-20 is going to be my final score prediction for this matchup. Who you got winning?
I got Kansas City based off of reason being of last week. How they have, I believe they have more tricks up their sleeve, and it comes down to coaching. All it comes down to coaching.
Yeah, man, like, they got a lot of crazy and creative plays, but make sure that you guys go ahead, let me know who you guys have winning this video down in the comment section down below. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. Also, make sure that you check out the JT Sports Podcast. Every video that is uploaded on the channel is available in audio format on every single podcasting platform: Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. The JT Sports Podcast is available. Make sure that you go ahead and check it out.